Hello.
Hi, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just can't see
Hi.
your face.
Just we can.
It's quite an interesting presentation here.
Sorry, but yeah, I can get you now. I can hear you now.
Yeah, I can
Hi.
see your passion. Yeah, man, I can see your passion for IPL. That's cool, man. Oh, yeah, I know we still got to start off with SA versus Bangladesh, but I want to just give my condolences to the Indian women. I really thought that since we were already qualified for semis, SA would have at least done India a favor to go through. But credit to us. I mean, it's happy that we've got some winning momentum going to those semis, and hopefully we shall show the men how it's done by getting a World Cup.
Absolutely. This was a real pressure cooker game, and by no means was this a straightforward chase. This was a really dramatic game. It went right down to the wire. I mean, the last over, I think it was Dipti Sharma that was bowling, and then she bowled. She obviously overstepped, and that was costly for India in the end. And yeah, I mean, it's fantastic that the Proteas women did win this game, but I mean, you got to give a shout out to India. I mean, they gave everything in this game. They gave it all. They left it all on the field, and
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
I
if
mean,
India
it's a
had
tough
won, they
moment.
would
It's
have
a
won,
real
right?
tough moment.
Yeah, would India have gone through, right, if they had beaten us?
Yes, correct. And look, they would have played Australia. That would have been a fantastic game. We would have had two fantastic semi-finals. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from the West Indies.
Yeah,
But I mean, the challenge ahead for them is really, it's quite a mountain playing the Australians, and Australians have been really on fire. They've been a part of the other side. They've really been on another level compared to any other team
yeah,
in this tournament. Closest team in terms
yeah,
of consistency has been the South Africans in terms of consistency in this
definitely, yeah,
tournament. So
yeah.
I mean, it's a fantastic tournament. It's been a great tournament. I mean, there've been some real humdinger of games that have
Hmm,
gone down to
hmm.
the last. And you really
Yeah,
don't see
man.
this in the men's game often, where you get these low scoring thrillers. And I know back in the day when I started watching cricket, when I first started watching cricket, you used to have many of these games, these low scoring thrillers,
Hmm.
but you don't have them anymore. I think that
Yeah,
the
man.
expansion of power plays, and I think the bats that some of these guys use today at T20 cricket is really I
And
think it's really taken
also,
one day cricket obviously to
hmm.
in terms of
And
scoring,
also,
but I think
yeah.
yeah, I mean
Hello?
T20 has
Okay.
taken one day cricket, and
Yeah.
I mean it's being a bowler these days. It's really tough being a bowler.
Yeah, especially with the flat roads you get in T20 cricket. But that's fine. I mean, you expect that. I mean, you're not going to expect test match pitches for T20, so I think that's pretty much how it goes.
Absolutely,
Let's get okay.
it's
After we've gotten
it's
after
yeah.
pardon, pardon, pardon. Oh, I
Yeah,
thought
I
you
mean,
wanted to
team
say
entertainment. So that's the reason why you have these sort of pitches. You want to get a good game of cricket.
something.
You want to see runs
Hmm.
scoring. You want to see fours. You want to see sixes. There's obviously
Yeah.
a strategy in sort of pitches. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, okay. After I got one depression out with India not in the semis for the women, now we have another depression, which is South Africa versus Bangladesh. Who would have called it, eh? I mean, although in hindsight, Bangladesh's one-day team has been evolving, so I shouldn't have really written them off so bad. But you were concerned about the pitches going against South Africa for the Centurion, and well, you're concerned it showed true. But Bangladesh made that pitch really look easy, eh, for that chase for the last ODI. So, what were your overall thoughts?
Look, initially a bit shell shocked, really a bit shell shocked there. I think the Proteas, they probably left their worst performance for the last game. I mean, this performance was nothing to be proud of, to be honest with
Hmm.
you, Sid. I mean, completely outplayed with the ball, completely outplayed. And
Hmm.
I think for a large part of the series, and it's so difficult to say this, that Bangladesh have really outplayed the Proteas.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think, I mean, I've spoken about team selection in that first game. teams puzzling. However, in this last match, I don't think team selection was that much of a factor, because I thought the side that was picked for this game was quite a decent team on paper. But I mean, nothing. Cricket is not played on paper, and unfortunately, the game management is something that really disappointed me in this game. So, I mean, if you fall down, you might as well try and bat out your 50 overs. I mean, don't look for damage. And I think there were so many expensive shots, many shots that you could be disappointed of as a Proteas fan. I mean, you're playing cricket at the highest level. You play cricket at the highest level. You play for your country. There surely has got to be a sort of, you surely got to take this so seriously, in the sense that you wanna put a performance out there. And I mean, it's by no means scoring 300 or 350, because you're not going to get it all the time. But at least give your bowlers something to bowl at. And I think that was the most disappointing thing, that the batsmen that have been the enemy for quite a long time in this Proteas lineup didn't give the bowlers anything to bowl with. And I mean, as a bowling attack, when you're coming in to bowl and you're only defending 156, you're going to be swaying. I mean, there's going to be many boundary balls, because you try to try things. You try to try too hard to get those wicket-taking deliveries going for you. And I mean, you're making a lot of runs. So I mean, that obviously is a result of the dismal batting display that we saw by the Proteas on Wednesday. And I mean, this is a centurion wicket. I mean, Bangladesh, as you said, when they were chasing this game, they made it look quite easy. So there was not much demons in this wicket. And I mean, you got to question it now. You got to question the coaching staff. You got to question the management of the side. You got to question the game management. I feel the Proteas have lacked that game management in the series at crucial times in the series, where the game could have been, it was on a 50-50 and sort of tail, and then Bangladesh just ran away with it, and it happened in the first game where I think they scored 30 or 40 runs too many, and it happened this game with the batting. The batting was abysmal. And I mean, let's not take anything away from Bangladesh. I mean, as you just said, they've been an improved side for such a long time, and the beauty part of this, I mean, the youth system that they put into place 14, 15 years ago is really bearing fruits now. A lot of those players that came from the youth system are experienced players in that side now. The likes of Shakib, the likes of Mushfiqah, the likes of Tamim, they all experienced players, and they cannot be taken directly at this level. And if there was any sign of sort of complacency from this Proteas lineup, they got to really rethink this, and they got to go back to the drawing board, because I mean, you're looking at that Super League table, it doesn't look pretty at all.
I guess so.
It's not pretty reading at all, and it's been really disappointing series to watch as a fan. I mean, the situation with the qualifying for the World Cup at the moment is really under jeopardy, and they really got to get running now with wins. I hope this is a lesson going forward, because I hope they can learn something. If they don't learn anything from it, then they're not going to make any progress going forward. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I mean, credit to Taskin Ahmed. He was man of the match, man of the series. So it's good going for Bangladesh. I don't know. I remember I told you that they could be like one of the pretenders for this Asian World Cup, considering how well they're playing. So that'll be interesting to see how they do. It's in Asia, so obviously they have a chance there. But trying to think what I was going to say to you. Yeah, I mean, I'll be okay. I think they will still go through, even if they have to do it the hard way, because there's enough talent in that team. And if you remember, when USA lost to Sri Lanka in the Test series, they really rebounded well. I mean, they really got the act together. So I think the same thing will happen with our ODI side. So I think sometimes we need a bit of a jatka, if you know what I mean. Speaking a bit of Hindi there. Yeah. Or if I had to use an English term, kick in the backside. That's what they needed. They needed a kick in the backside, but they got it. They got it. This is the real. I mean, this is the real reality check in how they want to play.
cricket, and I think
honestly, this is
they
actually worse than losing to Sri Lanka in the Test series. This is the worst. This is the worst.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I did say to you this off air, and I don't want to look at it, but I'm looking at it from a logical point of view, and I think Bangladesh are a much more decent side in one-day cricket than, say, the likes of Sri Lanka and the combined. So, I mean, that says a lot about their progress. And if you look at the bowling lineup, their bowling lineup is superb. I mean, Tusky, he was man the man, and that pace that he generated on that Centurion wicket was sensational. I mean, I was in awe with the way that they bowled, because I mean, the one thing that Bangladesh lacked in the recent history and in their past was a genuine wicket taker, a quick bowler, and I think they've discovered one now. This is a side that can pack the punches. I mean, this is a side that can take wickets with their fast bowlers. I mean, it's not all about spin. And I mean, their spinners obviously add a dimension to their attack, but I think they back their fast bowlers now more than ever. And I mean, Asian World Cup, I mean, I got to put it down to you now. I think they're going to be a dangerous side in that World Cup. So they're really going to be a dangerous side on those slow pitches in the subcontinent. And they take this team lightly, because I mean, you're going to write them off at your peril. And I think if there's any bit of complacency going, I think they're going to rock up and they can beat you on their day.
Yeah. On a final note, another Test series is coming up, and there are two venues that you don't like: the Durban and Port Elizabeth. My concern now that, considering we don't have our best players for the Test series, and another concern are the pitches. So if they make these pitches really batsman friendly, meaning that they're not as spicy as usual, I don't want to write off Bangladesh. I'm not saying they'll beat us, but I think we'll probably win it 1-0. At this rate, I don't mind 1-0 right now. I think after the disappointment of the ODI series, I'll take a 1-0 win right now.
Well, I mean, I don't even want to think about it in that way. Look, the Test team is a totally different side at the moment, and that's been developing under Elgar's captaincy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I expect that Test team to do quite well, because I mean, there seems to be a little bit more of a balance in that Test side, and players obviously knowing their roles, and that is what we don't actually see in this one-day lineup. There's been a lot of chopping and changing. And I think you agree with me. This hasn't been a settled one-day lineup for quite a long time. There's been a lot of chopping and a lot of changing, and that's hurt this really badly. And I don't want to go to the transformation side of it, because I think that's on its own. But I do think that the side is underperformed with the talent that they do have. They really underperformed in the series, and it's, as I said, it's a reality check. It's what they make of it, and I think they have to see it as a positive going forward, and they've got to rack up those points now in order to qualify, because I think there's enough talent in the side to qualify for the World Cup without going to a qualifier. That's honestly, how I see it at the moment. There's enough.
I'm just trying to mentally prepare myself. Well, honestly, I'm just trying to mentally prepare myself for the qualifiers, because if I try and have this expectation we're going to automatically make it through with our talent, I'll just get disappointed. So I've mentally prepared myself for the qualifiers. And also I've mentally prepared myself, even if we make qualifiers, we'll still go through. I think our ego won't allow us to not make it to the World Cup, even if we go through the qualifiers. So I'm okay with it. I'm over it now. I'm more interested in the Test series now. I think I'm predicting us to win it 1-0. If Bangladesh win the Test series, it'll be a double embarrassment. Actually, I think we'll probably have to hide our heads in shame for a while. So I think we'll win it 1-0.
I'm not sure when last we actually had a draw in SA, because the pitches have been quite spicy.
Yeah, so but it's in the cold, so I'm a bit worried about spicy. I hope so. Yeah. The only way we're going to beat Bangladesh right now with this team we've got. Otherwise, if they are batsman-friendly pitches, I'm expecting 1-0 results. Eh?
Yeah, I mean, I take a 1-0, but I think I'd be most satisfied with a 2-0, and I think I think there's enough. There's enough that Dean Elgar has in his armory to get that 2-0. But let's see how it goes. I do feel the Test side is actually we're fighting over formats here, because I mean the side has been so one-day cricket for such a long time. I think the T20 side is not in a bad state at the moment. The Test side is getting better and better, I believe. And the one-day side is still finding their feet. I don't think there's much identity there at the moment. They need to find out how they want to play, how they want to approach games. So I've actually got more faith in this Test team at the moment, because I think there's a lot of fighters in that Test lineup. The likes of Elgar, the likes of Peterson, even a guy like Keshav. I mean, he's a real fighter in the Test lineup. And I mean, Bavuma, you're going to get a lot of fight from Bavuma. So I'm a little bit more confident with this Test lineup. So I would, I play devil's advocate here, but I would go for the 2-0. I'd go for a 2-0 sweep here in this Test series. If the pitches are spicy, which I think it's going to be, I think there's going to be a bit of grass on pitches. Yeah, I mean, the St. George's pitches, there hasn't been a lot of Test cricket played at these two venues for quite a long time. So, I mean, the curators and the groundsmen have their work cut out. Let's be honest, they've got their work cut out, especially the first Test at Kingsmead. And we all know how Kingsmead can get. You're going to have those changes in the weather pattern. You might get sunshine on one day. You might get a bit of rain on the other day. So that can mess up with the pitch as well. So I mean, it's going to be really interesting. But it's nice to see Kingsmead finally getting a game after such a long time. So, I mean, it's good. It's good for the KZN Cricket Association to get some sort of revenue, because I mean, KZN has been starved of cricket for quite a long time now.
Yeah, man. Okay, so let's get to Australia and Pakistan after two exciting pitches. Actually, all these three pitches have been kind of a grind, but this one had a bit more in it. So I think Australia winning the series 1-0. Pat Cummins is man of the match and Khawaja man of the series. Your quick thoughts on this?
Yeah, no, I think thoroughly deserved for the Aussies, hey. And I think the great thing about the series is their match winners really stepped up. The likes of Khawaja, the likes of Cummins, and I mean Nathan Lyon as well. I mean, he bowled superbly on that final day, in that final session, to actually, to really bowl out Pakistan on it. A lot of times in that game, it was quite 50-50. I mean, it could have gone. I mean, at times it was looking like a draw, and there were times that Pakistan could have fancied their chances of winning. But I think it was all about mindset. I think the Pakistanis were in a bit of a, I would say, I call it a double whammy in a way, where they were unsure whether to go for it or whether to play for a draw. And I think they fell into that trap, and I think that worked for Australia quite well. And I think Australia buried a few demons here, because, I mean, there have been quite a few Test matches over the last couple of years where they haven't been able to get through the opposition on day 5. I mean, if you look at the Sydney Test match against India, if you look at the Gabba in 2021, and then obviously against England in the Ashes in Sydney, they couldn't bowl out teams on the last day. So that was their Achilles heel. So I think they arrested a bit of those demons in this Test series, and I think they were the Australians probably just sneaked it here. They were the better side over the series, and I think Pakistan's their mindset in a way, I think, probably dictated the way they played. I think they were too defensive. Definitely. I think probably out defensive in the first two tests, sorry, and I think they paid a price in this Test match. They really paid a price for it, because I mean, Australia were always going to get better and better, and it just showed. Once they got acclimatized to the conditions and they knew which lengths to bowl, they were always going to get better and better in the series. So I think Pakistan, they had the opportunities in the series, but they didn't really make it count.
Yeah, man, it's a combination of really strange pitches and strange batting. If you remember the last time when Australia came to Pakistan, I think, and they won 2-0, I think. I think that Misbah was captain, I think. I
I think the late Shane Warne, I think he took a fifer in that game, and I think
Oh no, no.
Taylor, I think that the Australian captain at that time.
Oh no, no. I'm not
Taylor.
referring to. No, I'm referring to the time when Pakistan beat Australia. I think when Misbah was captain and they won the series 2-0. I think out of the 3 Test series, if I could remember that.
I think that was I think it probably was UAE.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Probably. Yeah, it was the UAE. Yeah, it was in Pakistan.
Oh my
so
bad.
yeah, it was because Pakistan really wasn't.
Oh yeah,
international exposure.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
But I mean, having said that, it's a great tool for cricket. I think it's good that teams are finally touring Pakistan, and I think that's really good for the game. And I think I hope to see many more teams tour Pakistan, because I mean it was quite a fascinating series. If you look at it, I think it was a bit of an arm wrestle, the first 2 tests, and nobody was willing to have that killer punch in them to actually get over the line. But I mean, this Australia thoroughly deserved it, and they thoroughly deserved to win the series as well. I think they were the better side.
Yeah. But to be brutally honest, I think Australia sabotaged themselves and they couldn't finish it off. It's not like, fine, I give credit to the team that could draw it, but Australia also messed it up by dropping catches, having butterfingers and all that crap. So, yeah, I think if you're looking ahead now with the pardon?
I mean, that's a discussion for another time. And I mean, these things happen when you're under pressure. These things happen. I think they arrested a few demons in this test match.
Yeah,
particularly by winning.
I think they lacked killer instinct, in those situations. I think this match they definitely had the killer instinct, and I think if you're looking ahead of the guys T20, it'll be much more competitive. I think Pakistan. It was surprising Pakistan actually pinched at least the T20s. I think I'm lying. There's actually 3 ODIs, so maybe I think Australia might squeak the ODI. I think the ODIs. I think there's only 1 T20, so I think Pakistan will probably get the T20. I think Pakistan will take the 1 T20. I think Australia will take the ODIs 2-1. That's my prediction of the cup.
It's going to be much more even. I think Pakistan are quite a dangerous side in one-day cricket at the moment, and T20. I mean, we all know their powers in T20. So, yeah, very, very interesting. I'm actually looking forward to the limited overseas. It's going to be quite interesting. And let's give a shout out to Sohail. He just joined us now.
Oh, Sohail. I think he was there, but then I think he bugged off. So anyway, that's how it goes with those things. All right. Let's go to England and the West Indies. After 2 really boring pitches, we finally got a spicy one, nice and exciting. And now West England are 103 for 8. I think West Indies will probably finish off the match today. Should an earthquake come, I don't think we'll go into a 5th day. So what's your thoughts on this pitch? Really exciting.
Really exciting, and I think there's been some dismal sort of batting from England. I think they're going back to what happened in the Ashes, and these batting collapses, we've seen it from England for quite some time. And I thought after the second test they probably arrested that, because I mean, you were seeing some big scores. I mean, the 500 plus in the last game, Root getting runs, Stokes getting runs, but. I mean, I got to give it to the Windies. They actually blew this England batting lineup away, and it all happened yesterday. I mean, that was one almighty collapse on day 3 in that final session. And I mean, what's the lead now? 10 runs, and 10. So they effectively 10 for 8. And I mean, to be fair to you, I mean, I watched a bit of this game I think it was on day 2, and I really think they let the West Indies off the hook there, so. Because I mean, they had the Windies at around 134 for 7, and that tail really wagged. I mean, 60 runs for the loss of 3 wickets. That's really criminal. And Silva, the wicketkeeper, fantastic century there. So I think that sort of batting from the tail really took the game away from England, and it was a healthy 93 run lead.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they never looked back since then. I mean, they were exceptional with the ball yesterday. And, I mean, England, they've really got problems. They've really got problems in terms of bowling teams out and actually batting. I think their batting showing in this game has been a bit inconsistent.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who comes in. I mean, there can be a change of personnel. There doesn't seem to be much change with the result. They can't seem to get over the line. They can't seem to win the game. So I think that's a bit of a concern for them, really, going forward. So, yeah, I mean, back to the drawing board. And I mean, I did speak to you about Joe Root as a captain. I think his tactics have been really, very poor in the series, especially as a captain, you know, especially bowling to the West Indies tail. I mean, you can't afford a tail to wag the way it has in the series set. I mean, scoring 160 runs for the last 3 wickets, I think that's really, really criminal. And I mean, it's fairly obvious they're missing a guy like Archer, a guy with that extra pace that can really bowl out batting lineups, bowl out batting teams, you know. And we saw it in the Ashes, and we saw what trouble he gave Steve Smith. So that's what they're lacking. They're lacking that killer instinct. They're lacking that killer instinct with the bat. They're lacking that killer instinct with the ball. So until they get it back, I don't see them winning many test matches going forward. I think they're really going to be struggling. So, yeah, it's back to the drawing board for them, eh?
But like, how did you find this pitch? I have a feeling it's going to be rated below average, eh? Because it did do a lot of stuff. Or do you just think poor technique is England's main downfall? Because if West Indies could score 297, although they were pretty much at the dumps around 130, so I think it's a challenging pitch, let's put it that way. Although I don't mind it after seeing so many dead pitches nowadays.
Look, I think it's more down to poor techniques than actually the pitch, because I mean, if you look at the West Indies, the tail whacked quite a bit. So I mean, if your tail enders are scoring so freely on this wicket, it goes to show that this isn't such a bad wicket. And let's be honest here. I mean, that last wicket partnership for England in the first innings between Mahmood and Leach, I mean, that was a record first wicket 10th wicket partnership for them. So I mean, if your 10th wicket partnership is the highest partnership in the innings, I mean, dude, you've really got problems. You've really, really got problems. And I mean, they bailed them out there. I think England were really, really bailed out of that first innings. I mean, they could have been skittled out for under 120. And I mean, that last wicket partnership was worth 194. So talking about the pitch, I think the pitch is challenging, but it's not a 103-for-8 pitch, Sid, which England are at the moment. So it's down to poor technique. It's down to application. I mean, you know, we talk about this all the time. We preach about it. I mean, there's so much of time in Test match cricket. There's so much of time. You can really find your way in. But I mean, I want to give credit to Kyle Mayers. I think that was a beautiful spell that he bowled. I mean, I'm just looking at that figure: 7 overs, 9 runs, 5 wickets. That is sensational bowling. And I think a lot of those dismissals, if you look at them, I think batsmen getting themselves out than actually the ball doing much. And I think if you look at those dismissals, the prime one was Lawrence. I think he left the ball yesterday. He left the ball on length and he crashed into his off stump. So I mean, it's those basic things, you know. Trying to leave the ball outside often, play the ball on its merits, and they haven't done that. So that is why they're in this position. And I mean, they're setting down the battle here, and I mean, this could be a famous win for the Windies.
Yeah, I think West Indies it looks like West Indies are becoming more of a hoodoo now for England, because I think West Indies seem to play well against them, and I think also against other teams. So, well, anyway, that's how it goes. I don't mind. I like West Indies also. They kind of need wins. And now let's get to IPL now.
Absolutely. I think the reason why they really do well against England, I mean, there's a lot of history. I mean, this rivalry goes back quite some time. So I think they look at England as being one of their fierce rivals. So they tend to up their game against England. I mean, if you look at the Proteas as well, I mean, when you play Australia, you can see the passion, you can see the fight. They really want to do well against this opponent. So I think it's all down to that passion. I mean, they want to do well against England, and you see them doing well against England. So yeah, a lot of it has to go down to passion. So I think they have that passion in them, because I mean, if you don't have that passion, you can't recover from 134 for 7 and make 297. You got to have that drive. You got to have that passion. to get to that sort of total and the opposition under pressure. So, yeah, a lot of it has to be done. Has to go down to passion.
Okay, so let's get down to IPL, and I think I'm happy that my team won. I did call it yesterday. I did tell you that I felt that Shreyas, being more established captain against Jadeja, first-time captain, was going to play its card. But I think maybe the toss played a factor. There was dew at night, so I think KKR got that to their advantage. So I'm happy with that. Umesh Yadav got man of the match. What were your thoughts on the pitch? It wasn't a really typical Mumbai pitch yesterday.
It wasn't, hey. It wasn't one of those high-scoring pitches. I think, as you said, I think KKR, I mean, restricting a side like CSK to 131, I think you really got to give them immense credit. I think they really used the pitch quite well, and they used their bowlers quite well. I mean, I didn't watch much of the game, but I mean, I just looked at that total of CSK, and I thought it was below par. I think they were 15, 20 runs short here, and it proved to be in the end. I think, a little bit of drama in the end with DJ Bravo getting the wickets, but I think the result was never in doubt. So, yeah, I mean, well done to your team, hey? Well done to your team. Good start against the mighty CSK. And there's a big one today later, which I can't wait for. It's RCB, the new looking RCB against Punjab Kings. So that is really going to be a cracker game. I can't wait. And MI and
there was a scoreline of like 148 for 4 after 18 overs. They're going at 8.2 to run over.
Correct.
Hopefully they can get to the 180 score.
Yeah.
That means they need to get to another 32 runs at 16 overs, which is possible, but 16 with 6 wickets in hand.
Absolutely.
Kishan is on 60 or 40 balls, so it's tough on Mr. Kishan. Hopefully it can be possible. Yeah, I think on this pitch, anything less might be interesting.
I do concur with what you're saying. It could be an interesting game. And I thought of short boundaries here as well. So this could be a real fun
I'm
face.
call Mumbai to win, even though I think Daredevils can surprise us, can win it.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Could be a really, really interesting game. So I think I mean, there's 2 overs to go. I mean, anything's possible. I think with the firepower, I think 180 is possible over there. I think Kishan is playing a bit of a blinder, 64 or 41. So, yeah, I'm watching this game, but not too religiously. I think most of my attention is on the next game. Really looking forward to see how Faf is going to perform as captain and as opener. Really, really excited about that, and I hope RCB do well.
Yeah, actually, it's going to be a real, I think, Joy Bhattacharya, when I was watching a bit of Cricket Buzz, he's quite, not just Joy Bhattacharya, but even Ajay Jadeja, he's quite bullish on Punjab this year. He really likes the look of their squad. He thinks them all the way this year. So I do like the look of the Punjab squad. I think they really did the auction very well. So it's not an easy match for you guys, eh? So, but I think Faf to please. Oh, hello? Oh, oops.
Sorry, let me just get my. Let me just get my.
Oh, okay.
Set that up. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Well, I can't see your face, but it's fine. You can hear me, so that's okay. No, I was just saying that the Punjab team does look quite decent, so I think you all will have to be at your game tonight. So it'll be a good match. But I think you all could have the edge because Faf to please is more experienced than Meg Agarwal, who's captain. So it'll be a nice match.
Absolutely. I think we all quite aware of Faf's tactical, skills in this game. I think he was quite a decent captain for the Proteas. I mean, albeit he didn't have his strongest side for a large part of his his tenure, his term. But I think our teams. I think we've seen some brilliant things from Faf down the years, and I think his greatest achievement was a Test series win against the Australians at home. I thought that was fabulous. That was a fabulous one. I'll always remember Faf for that. I mean, being the first captain to be the Australians at home in close to 50 years. So that was really special. And yeah, I mean, I miss Faf. I really, really miss Faf in the Proteas setup, and that's a brilliant player. And I'm looking forward to seeing him today with the bat. I'm actually having visions of him stepping out and batting for RCB. So yeah, I mean, I can't wait. This is a player that I really, really admire. I think one of the most iconic players in the last 10 years in this Proteas lineup, and in world cricket as well.
Yeah, well, if it makes you any feel better, I can't see Faf. I can see that Faf can actually make you break that hoodoo of titles, and I think RCB will really love him if that happens.
Absolutely, absolutely. Amen to that. Amen to that.
Well, if my team doesn't win it, then your team can get it. I'll be nice to you.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of getting used to this new format, hey, and I'm looking at most of these lineups at the moment. I mean, Delhi doesn't look the side that they used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know Rabah.
Neither does Mumbai, and neither does Chennai, and neither does KKR. So that's why I think Ravi Shastri called it this year, where he said that anyone can win the IPL. I mean, the teams don't look the same. I mean, it's much more even. Before it was pretty obvious. Which is good. You don't want a boring IPL where only a few teams are the favorites and all that jazz. But though your team does look stronger, I think your team looks stronger than my team, I think, on paper. And Tira's Punjab, who would have thought that? But anyway, that's how it goes. I think any final words on your side before we wrap up?
Yeah, I mean, World Cup semi-finals now. The ladies are in the semi-finals. I mean, really, really proud of them. They've really done so well in this tournament. I mean, I'm really enjoying women's cricket at the moment. I think it's on the up. It's been a good tournament. I think we've seen the rise of the women's game. And look, I'm hoping for the best. Fingers crossed. Big one against England on Thursday. Yeah, those are my final thoughts.
Yeah, man. I was hoping we could have an SA versus India women's final. How cool would that have been? But now it's fine. We have SA versus Australia final. Mouth-watering final, that. Although I wouldn't mind Australia losing, though, in the semi-finals. Makes it easier for us. Yeah, that's pretty much what I think covered all.
Yeah, I guess a little bit heartbreaking that India are not there. Because I think they add a lot to the game with their fans. And, they're quite a colorful bunch of players. And, I mean, it would have been nice to see them there. I think that semi-final would have been a real cracker, Australia and India. But obviously they're playing the West Indies now, Australia, and I think they wouldn't mind playing the West Indies as opposed to playing India. So I think that draw is working in their favor, and I think the England and Protea game is going to be much more closer. So yeah, I mean it's difficult. I mean you beat India and then you're going to play a tougher opponent at the moment. But I guess it's World Cup semi-finals. You can't really choose who you want to play for or who you want to play against.
But they've beaten England. But they've beaten England in the group matches, so they have that confidence carrying through. Although semi the group matches are different. So, anyways,
absolutely.
I think that's. Anyways, I shall check you again next week.
Absolutely. Cheers, and enjoy the rest of the cricket. Enjoy the IPL, Pakistan, Australia, ODI series, and of course the Proteas in action as well.
Yeah, man. Are you going for the match in Kingsmead? I know you kept begging me to come.
I'm going to take a rain check. I think it's be a bit of a busy week. So, yeah, I mean, there's going to be more matches in the future. So,
yeah,
I'll keep that in my diary. But I'm going to take a rain check for this one.
Yeah, I'm hoping for the World Cup to come soon. I'll be praying for it to come quick. Then I'll come definitely. Hopefully, have an India-Pakistan match at Durban or something. That'll be nice to watch.
Absolutely. I mean, what an occasion that's going to be, hey?
Yeah, with the Indian crowd in Durban, it's expected. But anyways, I shall check you on the other side.
Okay, cheers, Sid. Have a good weekend. Check you soon.
You too.